Hello, friends. It is Wednesday, and I'm at my house, which is lovely. Oh, so much to say. It's been such a long time since I've greeted you from here. I am, number one, I'm bright red from a medical treatment yesterday, and I'm probably going to talk fast because of the same medical treatment. I'm working here on about 2 to 3 hours of sleep, so I'm tired and wired. Don't expect a lot of intelligence happening just yet. Um, I just am home from a 29-day, 4,000 plus mile road trip. I was home, I got home Saturday night. Sunday, I spent all day visiting the grandbaby because he's huge. I haven't seen him. I left him at 4 weeks. He's now 8 weeks. And how does that happen? He is, in 2 days, he'll be 2 months old. I think he's ready to shave. He got so big in the month I was gone. Let's see. Monday, I did some work. Yesterday, I had an all-day infusion, and today I'm getting ready to leave again. So not a lot of quilting going on here, but some. So let me catch you up on what is new. First off, I just loaded a new YouTube video. So let me pull up a photo of that for you. Window. Can I do that? No. Let's stop that one and pull up a different picture. So, hello. I'll come back here. I just uploaded a new YouTube video on a cutie quilt. So let's do this one. That'll work. So, cuties. I'm a cutie pattern designer, and cutie quilts are made with 16 fat 8s. I had a Pat Sloan Paradise Park fat quarter pack. Now, every fat quarter is 2 fat 8s if you just cut it in half. Instead of 18 by 22 inches, it'll be 9 by 22 inches. So I cut each fat quarter in half, was able to make this fenced-in cutie quilt, and then I used the other half of it to piece a border. The other half of each fat quarter to piece the border. So let me show you that one. So here's the quilt. I pieced the cuties out of one half of the fat quarter, and I pieced the border out of the other half of the fat quarter, and I was able to get the binding out of that as well. So cutie patterns, this one requires 16 fat 8s, some background, and some yardage for the border and binding. But I was able to take a fat quarter pack and cut it up and make just this most delightful quilt. I decided to quilt it with my walking foot because that's fun. And the fabric was just gorgeous. I'm now sad that I loved sewing with it, but do you ever get sad that you use your fabric up so you don't have it anymore? So that's kind of you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have your fabric and quilt with it too. But the quilt was just lovely. Paradise Park, I think, if I said it wrong, it's Paradise Park fabric. Let me pull up the chat and see who's here. Linda. Thank you. Yes, grandbaby number 4, little baby boy. Hello, Madeline. It's good to see you. Hi, Joan. How are you? I just drove by you again. And Madeline, using your fat quarter packs. Are there any quilters who don't have fat quarter packs? Really? There might be some, but I'm not one of them. So that video is now on YouTube. Fenced In is a cutie pattern that is just great to use up, again, fat quarter packs, cutie packs, which are on my website, and yardage. Speaking of my website, I'm catching up on packing orders because I really got home. I've been home minutes, and I haven't packed all my orders yet. So if you're still waiting for an order and haven't gotten your notification yet, you should get it tonight. By tonight, because I'm leaving tomorrow, and I hope to have all of the orders caught up before I leave. So thanks for your patience on that. I knew I'd be gone for 29 days, and then it turned into 30 with the grandbaby, and then coming right home for another medical treatment. It's been a lot. So not a lot of working. Let's see. I got home and all of my scraps multiplied and all of my unfinished quilts multiplied. How does that happen? How does that happen? Does that happen to you too? I walked in my sewing room. I'm like, oh, I can't even sew. I got to finish stuff that's on here first. So I have decided I am a quilt finisher, and my quilt projects are all written on this card. So I can only work on this many quilts. And until I finish one, I can't add another one on. It has to be 10. And then over here are my quilt-alongs that I'm working on. And by the way, this is quilts and knitting. So if I touch it, I have to finish it. Let's see if this actually helps. So let's see. The projects I'm currently working on are, this is my travel knitting. I bought this when I was in Pittsburgh. Some yarn. I visited the local quilt shop because I'm also a knitter, and my daughter and her wife are both knitters. So this is a gradient yarn. I think it's from the Netherlands. So I'm up to the gray in the middle from the bright yellow. You can see the big difference here in color. And I dropped the rest of it. That is turning into black, gray and black. So it's yellow to gray to black. And those are Steeler colors. Go Steelers. Who did win in preseason, but does that really count? And the Pirates can't win for losing. I mean, I think we lost every game against the Brewers this week. Joe, you're afraid to leave your sewing room? Yeah. Can you just take my gremlins? Because I'm leaving town tomorrow, and there's no more room in there for more to happen. So that's project number 1. Project number 2 is 10-10 on the side. And it's just, this is the first thing I did when I got home because it was on my sewing table. It was on my sewing machine, and I couldn't do anything until I moved it. And so I touched it, which meant I had to finish it. So let me pull up that picture because I just took that one. We're expecting thunderstorms. I was able to just run outside and grab that photo before it starts raining. So that quilt is 10 by 10, 1-inch squares. I was apparently working on that before I left. I have 9 10-inch squares, and I think that quilt's 74 inches square, something like that, 73, 74 inches square. It should be 70, but my blocks were bigger than 10 inches, so my sashing had to be bigger than 10 inches. So it's 73.5 inches. I was going to baste that up yesterday when I got home from the hospital, which was a foolish idea because I'm not too steady on my feet and I didn't baste it yet, but maybe that'll be today's job, or I'll catch that when I get home next week. Debating on how to quilt this. That fabric in the background that looks like polka dots actually has stripes behind the polka dots. And I cut the fabric so that all of the stripes are going in all the same direction. So I had to cut the side borders one way and the top borders another way. But I want to quilt up and down quilting on this, I think. I'm trying to decide if I should quilt it with swirl stencils or just a wiggle. I haven't decided yet. Any votes? It'll be gray thread because it's a light gray, and then it's blue and whites and cream checkerboard. Just apparently I was playing with scraps a month ago, and that was still on my sewing machine. So that one is called 10-10 on the side. The next quilt I'm working on, so when I didn't baste my quilt yesterday, Cindy, you love that quilt? Do you sew with 1-inch squares? Because I'm a psycho. I have a huge box of 1-inch squares, and you can't tell I touched it. I just got that quilt out of it, and it was a lot of yardage for the background, but I just really like that soothing blue, gray, cream, tan, scrappy look. I like it. And I have some tall family members, so I needed to make some quilts that weren't 60 by 72. They had to be bigger. There's a family in my family I'm trying to make quilts for. So the next quilt I'm making is Snowball Fight. So I pieced all these blocks from scraps. This was yardage. Everything else was scrap. These are color block squares. And I just started sewing those together yesterday. Not quite done yet. But this book is Snowman Gatherings 4 from Primitive Gatherings. And she did this with her yardage. with one of her fabric lines. Lisa Bonjean, did this with one her Snowman Gatherings 4 fabric, but I had a lot of blue scrap. So I'll be piecing that together. So that's project number 3. Project number 4 is this waterfall cardigan I'm working on, and it's black and it's fingering weight and it's huge, and there's 800 million stitches per row. But I want to finish this for my fall wardrobes. I want to finish that by the end of August. So it's going to be living with me wherever I am. If I'm in the kitchen, it's in the kitchen. If I'm at my desk, it's at my desk, because there's always enough time to get 10 stitches when you're waiting for something to load. Got to get this sweater done, because I live near Rhinebeck, New York. And saying Rhinebeck, New York to a knitter is like saying Houston Quilt Festival to a quilter. I live near Rhinebeck, New York, and I'm planning to go to Rhinebeck. Now, so teachers fly in from all over the world for this. Knitters fly in from all over the world for this. Knitters, crocheters, weavers, spinners, dyers. It's just, it's gorgeous stuff. But there's a woman named Andrea Mowry who designs a quilt every year as her Rhinebeck sweater, and then people all make that sweater, and then I'll get to greet each other at this festival. And this is the first time I've wanted to make the sweater because it doesn't look hard. Knitting is my side hobby. Quilting is my main hobby. I'm willing to do hard things in that. Knitting, not so much. So I want to finish this sweater, this black one. And if I finish it by September 1st, I will buy yarn for the Rhinebeck sweater. What do we think? Will I make it? Will I not? Don't know. Let's see. Cindy, the background fabric is perfect. Why, thank you. It is, I don't know, if I blow it up, is it looking bigger for you? So it's a polka dot with a stripe in the background. I had planned to use something else, but it was really overpowering, and I just needed it to go to this spa soothing place. I just kind of love it. I'm thinking swirls are going to end up on that. Just a random bolt of fabric I have. 1 inch fuchsia face wide-eyed. Yeah, those are all 1 inch squares. They're 1.5 inch cut, 1 inch finished, and that's one size scrap I save. And I have a big boot box full of 1 inch squares. And so I have enough to make 3 of those quilts. I think I have 4. I have yellow and black, or yellow and cream. I have aqua and gray, and I have red and black as well. So I have collections of those 10 by 10 blocks, and we'll see. And I just called it 1010 on the side, which is trucker lingo for done talking now, I'm going to listen on the CB radio. Did I look that up yesterday? Yes, I did. So that is one column. I have 4 projects that I've touched since I got home. Now on the other side is my quilt-alongs. Do you do quilt-alongs? I love me a good quilt-along. So I was so proud that on yesterday, when I got home from the hospital, I did work on my Aloha Mystery 5.0 quilt that I signed up for. Bits and Pieces, bnpquilts.com has the pattern. I signed up there. You either buy a kit or buy a $50 gift card. Bought a $50 gift card because I pulled fabric from my stash. I had this black in my stash. That was enough. I had this cream in my stash. That was enough. Red, I did cut off a bolt. And then all of the colors are going to be blues. As you see, I've been working in blues. I have tons of blue scraps. So I'm going to be cutting the blues out of a variety of different blues. So this was step 1. And then I was so proud that I was done and could put that aside and work on something else. And today, step 2 came out. So here is clue number 2. And if I get into my sewing room today, I will work on that. If not, I will do that when I get back home. Other quilt-alongs I'm working on are through Primitive Gatherings. There's something called Unity, which is 1 inch half square triangles, because why not? A pumpkin spice quilt-along. also through Primitive Gatherings. And that is free if you bought the fabric, or you can buy the pattern weekly. Then there is, in my Primitive Gathering subscription box, there's a star quilt along, some sort of a star thing that goes throughout the year. Haven't touched it yet, and it's August. So I have February, April, June. I should be getting August and by the time I get home next week. So I'll be 4 of the 6 months behind, but I got to get working on that. So I should have, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 quilt-alongs, but I have room for 10 if anyone has some good suggestions. So working on those. What else am I doing? Planning, let's see, while I was traveling, I didn't go to any quilt shops, but I did go to a knitting shop. And I'll be traveling again in September, and I've already looked up knit shops and quilt shops through where I'm going. Let's see. Margaret. Hello in Mount Gambier in South, I'm not sure if that's South Africa or South Australia, but hello, I'm glad you're here. And I'm not sure what time it is where you are. I can't figure out time zones within the United States, so my ones in the world are not so good. But hello, I'm glad you're here. Things I have going on. I have my content calendar up for y'all. Where did I put it? I was just working on that. Is that over here? Anyway, next things I should be having out is the new subscriber video that's already ready to go and scheduled. You'll be seeing that shortly, as in next week or the week after. And then also how to quilt this month's color block quilt. Let me show you what this month's color block quilt looks like. Let me pull it up. Is it going to be here? Okay. It's much prettier. I didn't take a nice photo of it, but this is this month's color block quilt. It's called Shining Brightly. The colors are the black and gold of the Steelers, because I have a lot of baby quilts to make for Pittsburgh family, but this would look good. A lot of the mamas are like in gray now. So like gray and aqua, gray and mint, gray and pink, gray and peach. I think that would be pretty with a lot of different colors. But it could also be pink and green, play with the colors and maybe not a white background. But that's mine, and I will show you. I have to get that basted up and quilted. Hopefully that'll be out next week. Either that or I'll flip-flop and move all of the as the Bobbin Turns videos, and I'll move that a week forward. But that's this month's quilt. Let's see. 4:19 a.m. is the best time to sew in South Australia. Yeah, no. I do one 4 o'clock a day, and it's the one that's just about to happen here in the afternoon. I also do one like 6 o'clock a day, and it's not the morning one. Although I think I was still awake at 6 o'clock this morning. My eyes show you that I'm awake and wired, but I haven't had much sleep. With the amount of steroids they gave me yesterday, it's amazing I got any sleep at all. But I've always wanted to be a morning person. I'm just not. I can usually sew into the morning if I'm still up from the night before. But getting up to do anything, if it's not a flight, I don't get up. Let's see. Patty, hello. Patty, I think you're in Ohio, and I've driven through Ohio a couple times. I drove to Wisconsin, back from Wisconsin. Then I drove over to, what town is that in? I drove to Lehman's store in some town south of Akron, through Amish country. So I was there. And then last night, my husband and I were watching aerial videos from the Smithsonian magazine, put out the area, and we watched Aerial Ohio. And it was just showing different tourist spots in Ohio, because I am planning a trip to Cuyahoga Valley National Park. I'm now thinking I need to go to as many national parks as my body can get to. So thinking of a lot of you in Ohio there. So this weekend, I'm going to Bits and Pieces, which is in Pelham, New Hampshire. I'm going to be teaching stationary machine and home machine quilting. I'm going to be teaching long arm quilting, and it's all hands on. Bring your home machine or use the stationary machine at the shop. And then the Handy Quilter van is at the shop. So all of the long arms will be hands on. I think they have 6 machines, 2 people per machine. You'll get a really good experience there. So call and see if there's any room left in the class. I'll be there later on. My next teaching is going to be in Pennsylvania. I'm going to be in Glen Pennsylvania, which is north of Pittsburgh, teaching at the Quilting Needle. That's going to be hands-on home machine classes, walking foot quilting, and quilting with stencils, I think. I think those are the 2 I'm going to do there. What else? And I've just booked a couple more and more coming. So my calendar's starting to fill up. Sign up for my newsletter, because if you get my newsletter at the bottom, I have my ongoing calendar. So if you're looking for any in-person classes, and I'm also talking with a couple shops about doing video classes, live video classes of techniques for them, for their people that can't get into the shop. So check those out as well. Let's see, Patty. We live in the southwest of Ohio. Let's see, is that Cincinnati? Cincinnati is southeast. Southwest is under Dayton. My son was a Buckeye, so I've been in Ohio and been around. So yeah, cool stuff. You wouldn't think there's a lot in Ohio, because people kind of don't think of it, but it's definitely there. Let's see, Madeline, it's Rhinebeck, New York in the fall. If you Google it, you'll find it. Apparently I missed her, Madeline's comment. It didn't show up here, but Rhinebeck is the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, and that is in October. Let's see, have that on my calendar because I definitely make sure I'm not booking work that weekend. It is the 17th, 18th, and 19th. The fair is open 18th and 19th of October, and there will be classes other days. Let's see. Close to Cincinnati. We looked at Cincinnati for my daughter. I really liked the university in Cincinnati. I loved the downtown campus. It had a great chemistry program. Wasn't the direction she wanted to go, but her dad and I both loved the school. So yay for that. Oh my word. I am the day after infusions. I don't do a lot because I'm not so smart. You can see my face is the same color as my shirt, and I'm really tired, but I'll sleep tonight and then I'll be much better tomorrow and ready to teach on Friday. So let me see. Any other things I needed to talk to you about? Work in progress, online classes, quilt-alongs. Should I risk it and cast on another sweater that needs to be done by the middle of October? Do you ever have that with quilting? That, like, oh, there's a big quilt-along. I would love to do that, but I have so much stuff I have to finish first. I'm having that moment because I have more than one hobby. So I have that in more than one hobby. By the way, I was in Kidron, Ohio. Is the town I just remembered. And whenever you schedule a vacation or whenever you're traveling, do you look up all the quilt shops in the area and make plans to visit it? Because as my daughters are dragging me more back into knitting, because I've been knitting since I was 3, but kind of didn't do it for 20 years. I now have 2 shops to look at, 2 types of stores to look at everywhere I go. Yeah, it's necessary. Madeline, yes, I have to go to all the quilt shops when I'm driving. It's kind of tough. So I think I just told you 45 minutes worth of information in 30 because I'm on a lot of steroids, and it's like having 10 double espressos, talking a little fast, even though my brain feels muddy. That's what I'm quilting. I hope you're getting some quilting done, and I look forward to getting back in my sewing room. I've missed my sewing room, but my calendar is just really hectic through the end of September, and then things will calm down. Like, I'm not sure I'll even get to be in my town on a Sunday from now through the end of September. Like, I might be there 1 week. That's just unusually hectic. I try not to do that, but being gone for a month solid and other things, it's just happened that way. So I will be here again next Tuesday at 2:30 New York time in the afternoon, not in the morning, although it'll be in the morning in South Australia. So I'll be here at 2:30 in the afternoon next Tuesday, and hopefully I'll have something finished, because today I couldn't show you anything I finished. I could only tell you my works in progress. So I have a feeling this card will have more written on it, but not anything finished. We'll see how that goes. So until I see you next week, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and happy quilting. Bye.